Hello and welcome back everyone. In the last episode, I spent f***ing forever grinding out favor for the 5 houses of Karend. In this one, I channel a YouTuber and player with much more skill and talent than myself, Jimmy. Nah, I'm just kidding, you know it's settled, because we are headed into the swamp. I want to say that I love Jimmy's videos, both RuneScape and not. That was just a joke. To begin our journey, we need to, as you guessed, complete the easy diary entries. I've watched Swampletics multiple times, but I'll be very honest right now when I say I didn't know where most of that was taking place. Obviously, it was in Morytania, duh. But as I was walking around doing these tasks, I was like, oh, that's where this happened. For instance, when I made it to the Grove for the first time, I went, oh, hey, that's where Subtle trained agility for like 12 hours. He's a lunatic for doing that to himself, by the way. Like, clinically insane, but I'm glad he did it because it makes for very good content. I don't know if I can say I learned a whole lot from watching Swampletics because at the time I had zero frame of reference for what he was doing. I just enjoyed watching the progress and listening to how he told a story. While running around Morytania, it made me stop and think about my own RuneScape journey. It's people like Settled and Jimmy that really motivated me to try and make my own RuneScape series. I thought, hey, it might be fun to just be a complete beginner and see what happens if I set a goal for myself and record it. And here we are on the second season, 1700 subs and counting, with one of my videos over 120,000 views. None of that makes any sense to me, by the way. I'm not sure why some of you people have stuck around and watched me make an absolute fool of myself every single week, but I'm glad you're here. I know that my content isn't for everyone and I don't have some of the production values or the skills of some of the other players, but I'm very happy that you're all watching and I wanted to take just a second to say thank you. Now, with that sappy bit out of the way, the easy Morytania Diary is completed and we get some plate legs and these extra boons and move on to the medium diary. I had almost none of these diary entries completed, so they took me just a little while. First, I need to go to an iconic spot in Morytania. Let's be honest, Settled made the entirety of Morytania iconic. And I need to catch a swamp lizard. I forgot to record the first catch because I suck at what I do, but here's the second one, and hey, it looks exactly the same. Look, you can even see the diary completion in the chat box. I chop some hollow tree bark. Now I need to travel to Dragontooth Isle. I didn't know this was an area in the game, but I pay the toll. I also didn't realize it was ecto tokens, so there's a moment later where I'm very confused as to where all of my tokens went. Now I need to kill a terror dog. I actually got this as a Slayer task a little while back, and I looked up how to go about killing them, and I noticed that on the wiki it said it was a diary entry. So I held off on killing these things until it was time to do the Morytania Diary, and here we go. In order to gain access to these dogs, I need to complete the mini-quest Lair of Tarn Razorlore. The official length of this quest says medium. How are you going to call this a mini-quest but have the length be medium? Regardless, we make our way past Settled's crossbow and into the haunted mine. As I was doing this quest, I realized that I may not have brought enough food, but I start praying and I hope for the best. There's some more jumping that I need to get through, some more bad guys that want me killed, you know, same old, same old. Have you guys ever thought about how there's some level 90 skeletons and like some level 2 ones? Do you think the level 2 skeletons ever think about that? Like that they could have been level 90, but they failed out of monster college or something? I don't know, just something that came into my mind. I continue making my way until I reach the chamber with Tarn. I don't know really what happened here. The cutscene seemed to have played twice, but the game goes back to normal, and I make sure to kill a terror dog first, just in case I need to teleport out because my food situation, like I said, was not the best. Also, this area drains prayer really quickly, so that sucks. Well, we're just gonna see how this goes. The dog goes down and I'm going to stick it out and fight it out so that we can just be done with this quest. And return here with less issue to eventually complete my Slayer task. Perfect. Now we need to complete a game of Trouble Brewing. What can I say about this minigame? Literally nothing. I read what I needed to do, I joined a world, and then I got put into a game with 1 minute left. This is not a complaint. The wiki said that these games can go on for 20 minutes, and I really didn't want to do that. As the minute finishes up, so does the diary entry. Incredible. I will take a fast finish like that any day of the week. Got aboard the swampy boat from here to here. Make some cannonballs in Port Phasmatis. Grab my steel and my ammo molds, make them easily. Cool. The last 2 entries are going to take me much longer. I need to use an ecto file to return to Port Phasmatis, which means I need to complete Ghosts Ahoy. Here we go, back at it again with Dool's quest guides. I hope you're ready. We begin this quest by talking to Valerina, and she tells us how much it sucks to be a ghost in the port. So, on behalf of her, I talk to Necrovarus to ask him to allow every ghost that wishes to pass on to the next world. That seems like a simple request. I'm sure he'll be very understanding. Oh, no, he's a real piece of shit. Okay, cool. So we're going to do what any hero would do in this scenario, and we're going to make sure that we get what we want by any means necessary. In order to do that, we go and talk to the old crone, but first they want some nettle tea and milk. That sounds tasty. I don't know what nettles taste like, but I'm kind of here for it. After drinking the tea, the crone remembers that she used to be a disciple of Necropolis over there, and that Valerina was a good friend of hers. Now hearing that she is a ghost and wants to pass on, she agrees to help us. We are going to need to perform a ritual called Harikanto, which will allow us to dominate necromancy. You know, like a hero would, bending the will of someone to what we want to do and not taking no as an answer. Being the true hero that we are, we ask if there's anything else we can do to help her, and she mentions that she wants us to give a model ship to her young son who ran away with some pirates. In order to do that, we need to make these sails a specific color to match the boat. We search in some of the chests, I kill the red lobster and cheddar biscuits, head up to the top deck, and then we check the sails when the wind is low and dye them the proper colors. After dyeing them all the correct colors, we hand the toy over to this old man, who turns out to have been the son all along. We get a treasure map and head back over to Dragontooth Isle and dig up the Book of Horikanto. There's now a new NPC in port named Akharanu. Akharanu. He's a Robin Hood fanboy and wants us to get an autograph for him. So we do that and play a game of Rune Draw with the legend himself, who really sucks. This guy is a piece of shit. I don't like him. And boy, was my luck terrible. I kept drawing the death rune too early, which means I automatically lost. After truly too many games of this shit, we finally make Robin Hood sign this oak longbow and bring it back to Akharanu. I speak to the ghost innkeeper, he gives me a bed sheet that I treat like the Nickelodeon Choice Awards and slime that shit to create a ghost costume. We then do our best Jehovah's Witness impression and get 10 signatures. After all those, we talk to Necrosis and show him the petition to let the ghost pass on. He still doesn't care because he sucks, so we resort to the last available option. I take Necro's clothes and bring them to the old crone so she can dance near me and imbue my amulet with an enchantment that'll allow me to control Necromundo. We insist he lets the ghosts pass on if they would like, and of course he agrees because I stole his free will, like a hero. We complete the quest and use the ectofile. Nice. Now we have another quest, in aid of the themirekey. The entry says partial completion, and I will say that I don't even know where the cutoff point for that is. I'll get through this bit a little bit faster because this quest took me fucking forever. I kept forgetting items that were needed, but to be fair, there's like a billion items needed for this quest. We are headed to Bur Darat, where we need to feed the people to prove that we are in fact heroes and fix some shit around here. First, I need to clean up the basement, then rebuild the general store, restock said general store, fix the bank, and finally fix the furnace. We're also going to help kill a few vampires and their lackeys along the way. This man falls in a T-pose fashion. I steal his hammer and we gear up to do some temple trekking. I kill these vampires to make sure that Ivan over here makes it to the temple safely. Now we need to create something called the Rod of Avandis. With the mold taken from this coffin, we create a rod and then put it in the well to bless it, I think? And then return to Valiath to show him what we've done. Now, I don't know where the breakpoint for this quest was. Even after completing it and watching through it again, I have no idea. But we go to the bone grinder up in the Ectofunctus, grind up some silver, mix these ingredients, and create a Guthix Balance Potion, in Morytania specifically. And that, my friends, is all of the medium diaries completed. We get our new legs, which look really cool, honestly. And that is where we're going to end today's episode. In the next one, we take on a classic, Varrock, a city that I have spent a lot of time in, so that should be a fun one. So I hope you look forward to it. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.